Hello, hello. So we're back
Yeah.
for our November live.
November live, and I was saying I'm feeling tired. I guess because it's middle of the week, hump day. But and we've had a pretty busy week, so I mean, I guess it explains why I'm feeling a little tired.
Well, it also the time change. Although we're gaining an hour.
But I can't tell. Maybe if I don't know if I'm getting sick or not. I've been coughing the last few days, but it's just I don't have any symptoms. I'm not stuffed up. My throat doesn't hurt.
Sick.
But I'm having coughs here and there. It's weird.
The cough is you have whatever. You maybe have a little itch in the throat. I don't know. But anyway, we're back.
Yeah.
Weather's beautiful today.
Yes, it is. Very nice.
It's the last, I think, couple of days, today and tomorrow, and I think that's about it.
Enjoy it while it lasts, because you know it's coming our way.
Honestly, like I've said before, we've had a good fall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
and
been nice.
It's November 9th today, to have 14 degrees and sunshine.
It's pretty awesome.
I was out in shorts this morning. I know I'm crazy, but out in shorts and raking some leaves. And my neighbor came up and we were just chatting a little bit. She looks at me, she's like, my goodness, like, aren't you cold? And I said, no, I mean, I only get cold in my arms. Yeah. My legs and my feet, not so much. Like when I get home, I like bare feet. I don't like socks. So yeah, today was a short day for me. Shorts.
Yeah, it's not a short day. It's just you wore shorts today. She's not wearing shorts right now, though.
No, I'm not. But yeah, anyway, I think we're blessed with beautiful weather. I'll take it until we get it, which I think is tomorrow's the last day. Well, no, Friday, but it's going to rain.
We'll see what happens. So we did the stats. Not sure if you catched it, but we did do the stats this week. They came out on Monday. So I quickly got them ready and got it out on Monday, which we're happy about. And overall, I mean, the market's actually still doing pretty good. Sales are still pretty strong. There is a little bit more inventory because there's obviously houses that are still overpriced for the market conditions, and they're staying on the market. They're not selling, but the good ones are selling fast, is what we've noticed. Houses that look really well and that are priced accordingly are selling quickly.
And some in multiple offers.
Some, yeah, depending on its price, of course. So the market's still doing pretty well in terms of sales. However, prices have dipped still, especially with the detaches, semis, and townhouses all across the board in almost every city that we follow, year over year, of course. And the one segment of the market that's kind of still sticking around in terms of a plus on the year over year are condos. Condos still in every city that we follow. Condos are still, above in the year-over-year pricing. So, I mean, if you got a condo, I guess that's good to know. Not sure how much longer that will stick around, but maybe it will stay like that because, with people not being able to afford to get into houses per se or townhouses, maybe people will start drifting down into the condo category, which will create more demand for condos. And in turn, maybe the sales of condos will continue to maybe just be flatlined or slightly go up or down, but no drastic change there.
Because the condos in the beginning of the pandemic, they took a hit.
Yeah.
So now they're in the recovery.
Yeah, possibly.
Right?
Possibly.
While the other sectors, the towns, the semis, the detached, are obviously are taking a hit.
Now, I when I put the stats out, I actually, in the in the comments there where you did the description, I was pretty much talking about the interest rate. So interest rate hike they did in October, I was 0.5%. And obviously house prices reacted accordingly. The market slowed down a little bit right after the announcement. And prices have obviously come down slightly because, buyers are being more particular where they're putting their money because of the interest rates. But I was saying that if you follow how the interest rate hikes have happened throughout the beginning of the year, from the beginning of the year, they happened with, don't quote me because I can't remember the exact amounts, but it was like 0.25, then it went 0.5, then it went 0.75, then a 1 point full, then the next one was like 0.5, I believe, and then another 0.5, which just happened. So there's still another interest rate hike announcement coming in December. And if you follow this trend that has slowly happened,
Let's
the
hope
interest rates kind of were like this going up. They did a full percent, and now they're still doing the hikes, but the hikes are being lowered. So the amount of interest rate that they're going up is now on the lower end. So we're hoping that the next interest rate hike will be of similar value, 0.5 or possibly 0.25.
So you're saying that observing if we are correct of this pattern, that we already have hit our peak.
We've hit the peak.
And we're on the other side
Yeah,
of
we're on the other
hopefully
side.
dropping.
Exactly. So it would be nice if we saw only a 0.25 interest rate hike.
How about none?
There's always a chance that they could do nothing. However, that'd be very
Probably.
highly unlikely.
Well, inflation is still high,
so it's
they
still
need
too early, right?
It's funny because inflation, it's to obviously curb people, spending, and a lot of people are spending. And now with holidays coming up,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's making that more tougher.
Exactly. People are going to spend money. Maybe not as much as they would maybe previous years, but in general, we are coming up on a season where typically people do spend more money than,
It's an expensive time of the year.
exactly, than any other time of the year.
I say it's the most beautiful time of the year, but it's also the most expensive time of the year for many people.
And then January comes and everybody's miserable
Yeah.
because there's nothing to look forward to. Plus, you got to pay those bills, right?
Yeah. So hopefully, the interest rates start going down lower, the hikes. And then you never know. Maybe by next year, this time, we're talking about interest rates that have already gone lower than what they are now, and possibly the market starting to do a big turnaround. So we'll see what happens with that. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I want to say hi to my mom. My mom's watching. Hey, Mom, how you doing?
My and from Poland,
And from Poland. We have a
Czechoslovakia.
few other people here. Lisa, I can't read the other name, apologize, but thanks for joining us on the live today. So I guess that's kind of what's going on with the market. We have a couple places on the market right now. One, we have a penthouse on the market in Milton, two bedroom, two bathroom, two parking spots, and that's near the Arts Center, very close to downtown Milton. And then we have another place on the market in Oakville. It's a ground floor condo, one bedroom, one bath, really super high ceilings, like I think it's 12 foot ceilings, great little place. Check it on our website or gorealtor.ca. I'm sure you'll find something there. So we got two places on the market.
Get in touch with us.
Yeah, get in touch with us.
Details directly.
So we got a couple places on the market, and we wanted to talk about, because we have places on the market, and obviously we have listings throughout the year, and we see things happen during the year, from the beginning of the year compared to what's happening now. It kind of gets under our skin, and we wanted to talk about the fact of realtors that come and see properties, like we go with our buyers and we see properties, and we try to give feedback to the realtors about the houses, and we're noticing a lot of realtors are not giving feedback on our listings, and we don't know why.
Yeah, so I think it's very important, especially in this type of a market where, we are not going crazy like we used to, okay?
In terms of, showing 20 properties, 15 properties, and it's constant. We were like every day seeing
doctors on call, which is ridiculous, but
every day you're seeing like 10, 12 properties.
Right, and obviously because back in the market where it was
beginning of the year and end of all
last
20,
2 years, really,
all of 2021,
where homes were selling within hours, within days, you had to get in there quickly. Even booking showings was a challenge because time slots were getting booked up so quickly. It was more challenging to give feedback on every single listing that you went to see with your clients.
At the end of the week, you're seeing like 40 properties.
Exactly.
And it's pretty difficult to give feedback on those properties. And then also, is it really worth it to take your time to give feedback on a property that you know is going to be sold on Monday or sold on Sunday? Like everything was selling. So what's the point of giving feedback? What's the feedback going to be? Yeah, you're priced lower than market value, you're going to sell.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, even giving the feedback, exactly. One of the questions typically is, what do you think of the price? Well, obviously, if you're priced low, you're low. You don't even answer that question because you're there to set it up for multiple offers. However, now we're in a different market. We're not as busy. People, actually buyers these days, have the opportunity to actually view a property even 2 times, which was unheard of for the last 2 years. It's like you went in, you had half hour time slots. You went in, you looked at the property, and you had to make a decision within hours or a couple of days whether you want to act on this property or not.
And then before, in the other type of market that we had, it's like you were getting 7 to 10 showings per day. Now with the type of market, you're hoping to get 7 to 10 showings in a week.
Exactly. That if you had that amount of showings, you're good. Like that's a strong amount of showings in this type of market. What we're trying to say is, when you're in this market, agents, and we're talking to you, you really need to make an effort to give feedback.
Honest feedback.
And good or bad, ugly, whatever it is, you have to give it, because guess what? Oftentimes, we, as agents, we will recommend a list price, if it is the price is an issue or whatever. We'll recommend a list price, but ultimately, the seller's in the driver's seat. And if we don't have feedback, then it's very hard for us to really understand how buyers are viewing that property. Because keep in mind, you as the buyer agent with your buyers, you are seeing multiple properties
within the same price range.
And you're actually going inside the property, okay? You're not just basing it on pictures, because pictures, we all know, are a lot different than reality. So you have very good idea, and so do your buyers, of the state of the home, how it's ranked amongst your competition, and therefore you truly can give very good feedback as to how that property or
how the house shows
compared to others.
Yeah, whether there's a value there, and if you're only getting 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, you're not getting as many showings as before. Every showing that comes through is critical, because it's either they're going to give you an offer, and if they don't give you an offer, then what's the next best scenario out of that? If they don't give you an offer, then you at least want to get feedback to hear, why aren't they giving us an offer? What are the reasons that they're not giving us the offer, right? And it could be that you're priced too high compared to what you have for square footage, what you have for bedrooms, finishes. It could be the basement's finished, but the basement is finished really poorly and it's not usable space. And so in other words, if you were to get consistent feedback about the property you're trying to sell, if you got consistent feedback that says they love the house, but the basement is an issue. They love the house, but the basement is an issue. And you keep on getting feedback like that where buyers are saying, they did the basement, but I would probably rip it all out. Well, that's a big problem, because that means that you spent money on a basement, you're assessing the value on the home based on a finished basement that buyers essentially don't even want. So that could be an issue, and that's critical information for us and the seller for us to convey.
And at that point, change the strategy, right? I mean, but see, I feel like on the flip side, it's beneficial to even buyers, because if, let's say, you're priced at a certain number and it's too high, the buyer and the buyer agent might feel like, well, they're not going to be, $50,000-$60,000 less. But if you give the feedback that compared to other properties you've been seeing in that area or in that price range, you're priced too high, let's say, that gives the opportunity for the seller to evaluate those comments, and really for us to be like, okay, well, we need to have a different strategy. At that point, maybe we do need to relist the property at a different price, and that gives that buyer now opportunity to actually present an offer and potentially get that house, instead of holding back because you're thinking you're going to insult the seller.
Exactly. So it's very important to get feedback.
Very important, especially in this market. Agents, we know how it is. Feedback is critical.
And so we have an automatic email system that goes out after a showing. So if someone shows one of our listings, within 10 hours of, usually comes after actually about an hour, that agent, the buyer agent, will get an email from us saying, please provide us with some feedback. And we have some random questions that we ask them. And if they don't fill out that 24-hour, the next morning, you'll get it again. And then the next morning after that, if you don't fill it, you'll get it again. And then it stops sending it after that, at that point, if it's not filled out.
And my pet peeve of that is, okay, so you don't want to go through that process. It's extremely easy. You could do it on your phone. You could do it anywhere, really. But if you cannot fill that out, obviously, then we take it upon ourselves to get in touch with you. And the worst thing is, you call the agent, they don't pick up. Fine, that's fine. You leave a voicemail, they don't return. You text them, they don't get back. That's where I'm like, come on, man. It cannot be any easier.
Now, for us, when they don't leave feedback, they're not picking up and they're not texting you back. For us as agents, we already know what that means. We know that obviously their buyers are not interested in the property. However, we want to know why. And it's critical to know why. I mean, someone cannot be not be happy with the property, but okay, well, what's the reason? Right? What's the reason that it's not that it's not ideal for that buyer? Because now, you know, it's like we said, we want to get, if we start hearing consistent feedback about, oh, you know, the house is great, but the kitchen's too small. And if that's the feedback over 5, 6, 10 showings in a row, well then, okay, we got to adjust accordingly. Because especially in this market, every week that goes by, you know, potentially the market for that type of a home could be dropping by $5,000 or $7,000. Maybe not as drastically as it was before, but every week prices are going down. Every month prices are going down. The longer that you're on the market, the less chance that you have to get that ideal selling price that you want to, right? Yeah. If you were looking to get 1.2, or if Martha and I suggest that, hey, if you list right now, you could probably get 1.2. And they're like, no, I want to try and get 1.3. Okay, so they try 1.3. Then you're on the market for a month. Now they finally come to the realization after feedback, and the feedback is that you're overpriced for whatever reason. Okay, it's a month later. Okay, Andrew, Martha, let's try and get 1.2. Oh, you know what? It's a month later. I don't think we can get you 1.2 anymore.
Well, those buyers are probably gone.
Those buyers are probably gone, and it's been a month later, and now I think that only you can get probably between 1.150 and 1.180. So, you know, a month on the market makes a huge difference in selling price, especially in this type of market.
Which essentially means you're always behind the ball.
Yeah. So you got to price your house within, you want to be in competition, or you want to look the best and you want to have the best price. Those are the two things that buyers are looking for: the best price and the best looking. And if you're both amongst your competition, you're going to get the offer. You want buyers to come in your house and you want to get the offer.
Because again, I mean, we are in a slower market. So you already have limited buyers looking. So when they're looking, you want to make sure they're looking at your property.
Yeah. And especially with absorption rates being quite low compared to what they were before. So like for instance, in a market like, let's say in Burlington, for detached homes, if the absorption rate is 10%, that means that in 1 month period of time, only 10% of the houses that are on the market will sell. So if there's 30 detached homes in the market, well, that means only 3 of those detached homes are going to sell. So if only 3 homes out of 30 are going to sell, and you're one of those homes, you want to be one of the 3. And if you're not one of the 3, then you're going to be on the next month's absorption rate. And if the absorption rate for next month is even lower, you're going to have less chance to sell.
And and probably will be lower because, you know, homes get listed every day. Mm-hmm. So you have more competition. Yeah,
like absorption rate that we were looking at in January, February was like 130% absorption rate. It's like places were selling so quickly that the absorption rate was so high. It's like if there were 5 places on the market, 7 were selling, right? So it's just, it was really, really high.
Not enough homes for the amount of buyers.
Yeah, and now the absorption rate is very low, you know, seeing 20% absorption rate, 15% absorption rate. That makes a big difference. And you know what? If we know the absorption rate in the market, then we know, okay, there's 10 places like yours that are on the market right now in this neighborhood, and the absorption rate is this much. Only this many homes are going to sell. So you got to be one of those homes to sell, or guess what? You're not selling this month.
Which is why we say list price and the look of the property is extremely important in this type of market.
That's right. So I guess that was what we wanted to talk about today, was feedback on listings. Very critical. Agents if you're listening, try and take some time. You know,
it's so important.
15-20 minutes in the morning, not even.
Depending on how many homes you see, it's so minutes, quick. Right? It's so quick. And if you don't want to use the form, if an agent calls you or texts you, return. I mean, come on, we are all doing the same thing. If you had a listing, you know, you would want the same. So let's respect each other and help each other out.
Hear. I hear that. So we got our poppies on. It's Remembrance Day this Friday. Hopefully you're lucky enough to have the day off to observe it, especially if you had someone, you know, in the war, or if you have family members that serve. Thank you for everything that you do and you continue to do. And we wear our poppies with pride, and hopefully you do too.
And then tomorrow...
That kind of sounded weird. You do too.
And then tomorrow,
Yeah.
is our sister-in-law's birthday, Lisa.
Oh, Lisa's birthday tomorrow.
Happy early birthday,
early
Lisa.
birthday, Lisa.
She's a great human. We're very lucky to have her in our life.
Great human. She's a great mother.
Super wife.
Yeah. We call her the octopus mom. Doesn't matter what's going on. 3 little ones at home. She still bakes cookies and cakes and you name it, she does it.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful birthday, Lisa. And we will connect next month, the month of December. Ooh, maybe we'll have snow by then. Anyways, have a great week, guys.